Yes, it's nearly 1 a.m. It's cold, and it's time for another very dark video. Just couldn't do better these days. It gets dark quickly, and I work all day, and yeah, there's always stuff to do after work. My Govanen, uh, welcome back to the channel. So, I've always been, yeah, we could say that, a gamer. And I love cinema too. And I've always read way more than just Tolkien. But actually, my main interest in life has pretty much always been music. So naturally, at a certain point, I started consuming Tolkien-themed video games, like Battle of Middle-earth 1 and 2, and the extensions and stuff. It's Rise of Angmar, I think. I think it's the only adaptation ever in anything Tolkien themed that covers the wars of Arnor. It's one of my favorite stories. I would love to see some adaptation and around it, a series, for example. That would be amazing. Yeah, just the game itself is absolutely fantastic. One game I've been quite obsessed with, which I've played once a year since I bought it. You can't see shit. There you go. War in the North by Snowblind Studios. Snowblind were quite smart. It's not a AAA game or anything spectacular. It's just a typical RPG, very well done, and quite gruesome for a Tolkien game. The story is great. 3 characters traveling around the north. I love this game. And the main villain is a Black Numenorean from Angmar, so it's like, yeah, what do you want more? Even though it's not canon, the fact that there are Black Numenorians in Angmar, but I don't care. It's just, it's great, anyways. Another game I've just started actually last year, and I took a huge break from gaming in general. About 10 months it's been now or something. Well, The Return of the King on the original Xbox. But to be honest, it's a classic. But to be honest with you, I'm not enjoying it. It's quite boring. Around that time, the Hobbit movies were coming out. So of course I kind of obsessed about that. Yeah, this is the Desolation of Smaug. It's second movie. Yeah, I think the first one is Unexpected Party. Yeah, this is the extended edition. It's fine. It's good. It's a good movie, I would say. But of course, I have a copy from back when I was a kid, way before I started reading Tolkien. We had an old CD player. This is not even a DVD, I think. It's yeah, CDR. There's 3 CDs here, and it's just the Fellowship of the Ring. Oh my god, all technology. Crap. I wish I had flashlight right now. Anyways, and then back in Spain I found this making of Gollum DVD. And lastly, I've always known the band, but it only clicked, and I do remember the exact day when it did. This was in 2014. There was a local metal show in my hometown. A few hours before, I re-listened to Old Morning's Dawn by Summoning, the band, and it just clicked. Like I said, I've known the band since I discovered black metal a few years back, a few years before that, but I found it weird, and I didn't get it. Yeah, freaking love Summoning. But besides the adaptations and music and stuff, I did read, but not Tolkien. I've binged a couple of other sagas both fantasy. And this is the latest addition to the series. And I believe it's the last one. Maxime Chatham, it's the author, and the saga is called Autre Monde. It's in French, means another world. From the first few pages, there is a Lord of the Rings reference. I really love this saga, and it's super easy to read. Very simple language. I quite enjoy that. And the second saga, well, it's the freaking hell, the Maze Runner by James Dashner. There were movies made about that. I've watched the first two, and I knew that the third one was coming, but I couldn't wait. So I went and bought the books, but I started from the beginning. I read the first one, second, third, and the movie came out. Went to the cinema to watch it with my back in the day my girlfriend. Kind of forgot about it for a while, but then I just googled one day the series and stuff, and found there were more books, and I started buying them and reading them bit by bit. I love this series. It's like midway between Martin and Tolkien in terms of hope. Both sagas, they're both post-apocalyptic, and there's fantasy and science fiction mixed. So when I got back to reading Tolkien, I believe that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, I reread the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and found out a book was published before, and that was The Story of Kullervo, edited by Verlin Flieger, with the help of Christopher, as usual. Very, very old writing. At this point, I think it's a century old, by Tolkien. Tolkien was fascinated by the Kalevala, which is the epic compilation of stories in the Finnish mythology. I would say more or less the equivalent of the poetic Edda and the prose Edda, stuff like that for the Vikings. And he rewrote part of it. And the link between this and Middle-earth is that he took a lot of elements from the story of Kullervo and put it into the story of Turin Turambar, the Children of Húrin, which I talked about, the Children of Húrin, in the first video. It's the most dramatic story Tolkien ever wrote in around Middle-earth. I read it once. It was quite fascinating. There's a lot of commentary and notes and stuff. And it's not a very thick book. This is a hardcover, so you can imagine if there is a paper cover, it's even smaller. Came across a video, I believe, of unboxing or like turning page by page, which is quite strange, but okay. And I did watch that of Mr. Bliss. What is this? This is a children's book. This edition is illustrated by Tolkien himself, that we can put into the fairy world or fairy stories, just like the collection of stories that I talked about in the first video called Tales from the Perilous Realm. It's quite nice and lovely and cute, and I plan to read it quite soon, because I think it might take me 2 days tops to read it. So now during the COVID crisis, that's when I got my current job. Been at for 2 years and a couple of months now. That's when I officially started collecting Tolkien books. Of course, I've started with the ones I've never read, and there was a lot. I'll present them in the next video. I'll continue this, but for now, here's a quick list of the books I haven't been able to acquire. I haven't been able to find them in Morocco, so I'll buy them somewhere else. Most of them are out of print, actually. Very old collection and editions. so hard to find. This list contains an edition of The Hobbit. Why get that one since I already have The Hobbit? Well, the problem is that that facsimile edition contains an essay by Tolkien that is never been published anywhere else, and I cannot find it online. I even tried finding it on PDF and just downloaded it and stuff, but it's impossible to find. So at some point I'm gonna have to put the money on it, just to read that essay, because I wanna read it. I mean, it's an essay by Tolkien about dragons, so there is tons more books out there that contain the name JRR Tolkien, but they are either academic works or sort of biographies, stuff like that, and I'm not really interested in that. The only thing that interests me really are the words of the professor himself, what he actually wrote. But of course, there's some exceptions, like this one. It's called The Atlas of Tolkien by David Ray. Very nice cover art. It's a dragon. It's part of other 4 books, but to be honest, when I got it, it doesn't really make me want to get the other 4. It kills the charm of Tolkien. It's hard to explain, but I don't see the point really. It's nothing new. It just compiles. One other book on this series is called The Battles of Tolkien. This is an Atlas of Tolkien. A third one is called Heroes of Tolkien. So you get the idea. A Middle-earth traveler, and you have Gandalf the Grey on the cover art. There's some amazing sketches in here. One of my favorites, these are the men of the desert, Harad and Farharad and Khand and Umbar. This is Meduseld, the Golden Hall of Theoden King and Kings of Rohan. You can't see shit, of course. This one actually, Tolkien was involved in it. This is the Atlas of Middle-earth. This is the revised edition, which is the best one. Keirin Wynn Fonstad. So those are mostly maps. Very detailed maps with statistics and stuff. It contains the whole history of Arda, or more like Ea itself. It's a cartographer who specialized in fantasy worlds. She was going back and forth with the professor himself, and he would give the thumbs up or correct here and there until it was published. And after Christopher Tolkien started releasing his father's works posthumously, she made a revised edition based on that. I'm so happy I have it. I have 2 books by Tom Shippey himself, Dr. Tom Shippey. This is J.R.R. Tolkien, author of the century, The Road to Middle-earth. Also revised edition. I don't know what that means exactly. Why is it revised? But yeah, I'm lacking just one book by him about Tolkien. It's called Roots and Branches, I think. Roots and Branches. I've never read these books. I'm prioritizing Tolkien books. I'm not the kind who just buys books to buy them. I will read all the books I have in the library as long as I'm alive. At some point I decided to just invest in that and just go to something else. But I've watched a lot of interviews, lectures, read a lot of things on the internet that Dr. Shippey wrote, said, etc. around Tolkien. They do look interesting. I like his style overall. Okay, I'll leave it here. Thank you for watching. We'll continue next time. I think there's around 2 videos left. Namarie.